two explode in my car, and when I like explode is in like the pressure got so big inside them that they popped on their own. So that's how stinky and hot it was.
Gosh.
One in the front seat, one in the back seat.
Oh no, really?
Because I found one and I was like, oh, this is what's making that stink. And then I threw it out and I was like, oh, it's still fucking in here. And then Gian found one yesterday in the back that had like independently had gone off on its own too.
That's awful.
So it smells like
That's rough times.
I don't know if there's a worse smell.
It's really, really awful.
Wretched.
Yeah, like
Goat cheese.
The way I described it was like, oh, it smells like I killed somebody, chopped them up, and then when I was unloading them, I forgot their dick under my car, and that's like, or under my seat, and that's what's rotting and making that smell.
To be alive, if you can't do that.
Because it's
You're
horrific.
like, I was gonna eat that later.
It's really, really bad.
Yeah, why not?
Welcome to Strong and Petty, episode 14. 14 now. I wasn't going in with that at all. I don't know what I was going to say.
We're doing
Here we
it.
are. We're doing it though.
We're doing it.
It's still it's 9:23, which is not. I know it's not. I know it's not fucking early. Okay, I know it's not early, but it feels early enough to be doing
wiping the cum out of his eyes.
Yeah, it feels early enough to be doing a podcast. That's for sure.
The idea of recording a podcast in the morning seems odd to me.
It's just I haven't.
I'm gonna take the blame for this.
I haven't experienced.
It's fine.
I haven't experienced my day yet. I haven't.
Yeah.
You know, my mind isn't sharp yet. You know.
Yeah. Even driving here, I'm like, what are we going to talk
Your
about?
jokes, your jokes get better.
They get better as time goes, as the day goes on. The thing is, I start off at like a Devin level of humor, and then as the day goes on, I get into a Tyler level of humor, which is like much
Sad,
more,
sad, depressing.
significantly.
It's deeper. It's more nuanced. It's harder to get, but
It's kind of like your strongman careers.
yeah, kind of like that.
Fuck this place.
So this is Devin's last episode.
Yeah, definitely.
Taking the guy with the center of the picture.
We're gonna probably have to do an early one next week too, I guess, or in 2 weeks again, right?
We'll have to figure something out. Yeah.
Because you got
My weekends they get tied up with strongman competitions and kids'
we have
birthday
an
parties.
extremely busy summer going on. You more so than me because you have like a life outside of strongman.
Yeah.
But
The
just the
business
strongman stuff alone is
Yeah.
enough. That's like it's pretty much every weekend we have something going on, whether it's here.
Well,
or,
because it's Friday, load the equipment. Saturday, compete, and then Sunday, unload the trailers and load them back in my gym, and it's hours and hours and hours, right?
But how much of that are you going to make Danielle do?
All of it.
Yeah.
all of it as much as possible.
But I need to be there with like a fan and a water bottle.
Yeah. Actually,
On
well,
yourself.
And
while
it takes
you
her
scream at
longer
her.
because I always stop her between like, where's my fucking breakfast?
Yeah.
I don't want to kill the whole shtick here of Devin abusing his wife, but I do want to take a second because our volunteers at that Tolstoi show, it was fucking hot.
Yeah.
And they were hustling the whole fucking time. So I do just want to.
I don't know, man. There was one guy there, was pretty hungover and was struggling.
Yeah, he was looking rough.
That sounds like me at every
Yeah, he
strongman
was,
show. I stopped competing.
I was very happy when we met up and he was there. We're talking about Chris Witt because he had a bachelor party the day before.
Oh, really?
So
He's trying to help me with Hercules hold, and I can't. Brian's manhandling his end of the Hercules hold, and I don't have the height, so I'm trying to push this thing back up. I don't have the leverage. I'm like, Schwint, you got to help me out. He's like, Devin, I'm trying not to puke here. What the fuck you do? I had bachelor party, ripped it up. I'm in, and the heat. The guy was nauseous. I'm like, just make it through this event, then just you can go sit down.
Yeah.
Like,
I can't even picture Swint having fun.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I said too. I was like, I'm pretty sure their idea of like fucking going crazy would have been
Three
a
Pink
little
Whitneys.
a little different.
And watched old Ravens games.
They probably mixed a Pink Whitney with G2s.
Yeah.
I know they had a. You know what I will say. I will give Swint credit on this one is that guy can fucking chug a beer. Have you ever seen this?
No.
He can do that thing where he just like boop, and it's just
That
gone.
swirl thing?
No, he just fucking just chugs it. Like it's just like he can just open his open that
Tell me,
up.
tell me more. Tell me more about your skills,
I can
Schwinn.
see Devin just
Yeah.
like what?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he could just fucking slam a beer like I've never seen
Really?
before.
Is he going to the parade too?
He will be there with you. Yeah,
Makes
he'll be
sense.
your assistant. He'll be
Makes
holding your
sense.
pocket, walking
Yeah.
behind you.
I can butt chug like no one's business.
But yeah, he was he was in rough shape. Which like I said, I can almost respect that more for still showing up and still being there.
Totally.
And, yeah, because it'd be very, very easy to wake up and be like, you know what, I don't want to go spend
Because he was struggling.
5 hours in 30-degree weather.
Yeah,
helping
he
a bunch
was.
of people I don't know.
He was struggling. We could all tell. I think Janae at some point. I don't know if he went to pick stuff up or something happened. She ended up doing it. And she's like, he's fucking useless. And I'm like, okay, this is Janae back from McDonald's again.
I was gonna say that's like a glimpse of the old Janae back there.
Yeah. Oh, frick, that was funny.
But you know, like her and Brian both, like they work their fucking tails off at those shows. So I can, if they want to sort of take control and whatever.
Well,
hey,
at
man,
the
like,
beginning
you know,
of the season, already in winter, send me the list of the comps. I sent him every comp, and they booked off. Brian's working out of town, and he's making sure he's back.
Wow.
And there for every one of our shows.
those guys are great. I
Free
love-
of charge.
I love
Like,
those two.
I mean, we gave him all the help or something this last time around. I'm like, hey, just come take some supplements from my gym. Like,
Yeah.
for Supplement King. But I'm like, we'll get him something at the end of the year. I'll do something for him.
Yeah, we really want to. We're like Devin said there. We're trying to give all of our volunteers something. Like
Yeah.
we call
Out of the
them
budget, yeah.
volunteers, but we want to make sure they're getting compensated in some way for their hard work and effort.
That's more tiring. I'm more when I was helping and putting on shows. Well, for
worse.
the last years, I'm more tired at the end than I was competing.
for sure.
Because you're every minute that the comparison's like, oh, I'm exhausted from the 5 minutes I've done it. The helper's like, I lifted that fucking thing 30 times.
Right. Well, that's the thing. They have to,
you
they
did
have
it
to
once.
pick it up and move it over
Yeah.
and over and over again.
One year when McDowell and Wade competed at Westerns, I think it was in Edmonton. Either Edmonton or it was Edmonton. And I'm like, I'm going to be there anyways with my guys. I may as well volunteer. And we were buddies with the SAS guys, so there's like kind of like a crew of us. So I'm like, I'll help out if I'm there. The frame carry, I was literally praying for guys to finish, because if you went half or three quarters,
You're dragging that motherfucker.
you're dragging it back. So like you said, I actually did the frame carry 30 times. Yeah, I was spent after.
You understood now why that one ref's like, no, the time's over, man, but finish the event.
Yeah, because if they finished, then you started at the other end.
Yeah.
But if not,
you just had to
the
figure
help
it
had
out.
to finish it for them, and it was absolutely terrible.
At
I'll
the-
never do that again. God bless the people who volunteer
Right.
at Strongman and Powerlifting.
Well, we're trying to
events.
figure out, like, I'm not saying the event's national, but there's going to be obviously a move event or any equipment. Like, do we get forklifts in?
I think so.
Like, what do we?
I think the answer is
I have a forklift in my office, and I'm looking at a couple more right now.
I also think
but
it's worth considering a forklift for the power stairs at Vita too.
I don't know if we can get one there.
I don't know.
You just said you have one in your office.
Yeah, but
Getting those
getting
those-
it
those-
down the
drive
street
it.
here to Dominion and
Drive it.
drive.
Yeah, just cruise down there with
Or if there's
it.
enough propane in that
$7,000
tank. Yeah.
There, when we were at the Farm Strong show, Colton's young. Well, I don't know why I said young. His girlfriend. I didn't.
His underage girlfriend.
I didn't. I don't know why I opened
I don't know what
it.
he's going on.
Colton,
Yeah.
get him before the hair does.
But they were. She was fucking hustling too. Same deal. You reminded me with the frame, because she had these two guys that were, God bless them, they were helping, but I don't think they were putting in. Like, I don't think they were applying half the force that she was trying to push that frame, because she would push and they'd be trying to pulling and they weren't doing nothing. And it was a 750 frame that they had to move every fucking time.
Treacherous.
Yeah, it was
Well,
crazy.
I made the mistake you just did in the sense of the young. So when for the
But you married her.
no.
I've never made that mistake.
No. For the Tolstoi comp, the owner of Elsie's came over to drop off the T-shirts and the money and everything.
Right.
And he pulls up with a girl who because Ben's an older gentleman. He was up, I'm like, oh, so is this your daughter or your? No, it's my girlfriend. Oh fuck. And I'm like,
Good for you though, Ben. That's
yeah,
that's
and
great.
I just looked. I'm like, well, she's clearly younger than you. You got to give me a break here.
Yeah, that's good.
And she's like,
good
yeah,
for
I'm a lot
Benny.
younger. I'm like, okay,
for
good.
Benny.
Yeah.
You learn to avoid statements like that in life.
Well, I'm like,
Some of us do.
it was
Yeah.
clearly, it was enough years that it was like, oh, this has got to be his.
Yeah.
I almost threw out the granddaughter thing, but I'm like, well,
That
this
would have
is
been
daughter,
fucking
yeah.
amazing if you would have said that. One of the funny parts about the Tolstoi thing too was, so they Elsie's went really above and beyond, and they got all the competition shirts printed for us, which was like a really a big burden off our shoulders in terms of the cost of the show. And then so what they did was they had the list of all the competitors' names on the back, which is kind of cool.
Neat.
And but they copied and pasted it from like a Google Keep thing that me and Devin have that says, like, it'll say Dave Beakley, whatever, and then it'll say paid, and they'll say who you paid.
And your
with.
shirt.
No way.
Yeah.
Paid Devin and your shirt size.
So Dan, I just wrote. We all know who Dan is, so I just wrote Dan. I didn't write Dan Cadger. So it just said Dan paid Tyler So his name on the back of the sheet was just Dan Tyler,
I just sent him that, yeah.
which I like because I like to know that he can never escape me. Like it's
That's funny. The year I went to Worlds was Dom's first year going to CSM, and Bar I sponsored us, and they made shirts. It was like the Bar I logo on the front, and then
I remember that.
on the back,
Yeah.
but spelled Dom's last
They
name.
spelled it wrong. That's right. I remember that.
Yeah, it was so fun. And he's like the Bar I guy. Like I was only there because of him.
Yeah, that's funny.
And it was so funny. His name was spelled wrong.
You know what was awesome was when we were at that Farm Strong show. So JF Caron, I assume the people who listen to this podcast or watch this podcast have an idea of who that is. But if you don't, he's the best strongman in Canadian history, one of the best ever to do it in any, bar none.
Bigger than Dino Bravo?
Debatable, but I'd say yes. I have a Dino Bravo hat I'll show you later.
Really?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Who's Dino Bravo?
He's an old WWF wrestler.
Oh, okay.
He's a very imposing figure,
feel so
especially
left out.
especially to the strongman, to us. Like we're all very like sort of like in reverence of him, where it's just like, holy fuck, it's JF, right? And we got fucking wasted with him after the competition in St. Paul, and it was really, really fun. Where it was just like he was, like I said, he's taller than me. He's probably still even injured. He's heavier than I am. Like he's fucking huge, and he just has this really deep, imposing voice.
Total knuckle dragger.
Yeah, and he was just like. You know, I won't say the exact amount, but he ran up a fucking huge tab buying us all shots and Jaeger bombs, and just someone bought a Jaeger bomb, and he's like, "What is that?" And someone explained it to him, and he was like, "All right, for everybody." And then like, we're all doing Jaeger bombs all of a sudden.
Jeez.
And we were at the Smitty's restaurant bar, and we just got shit faced there with all the Quebec guys, and it was just like it was karaoke night.
Can you imagine those servers witnessing, like, not knowing what's going on?
Except so it's karaoke night, and except for us, there's like two people there, which I'm sure would be like a very regular karaoke night there. And all of a sudden, there's just like all these fucking bodies there that are not normally there.
Ron's like,
and are massive guys.
And JF walked up to me and Jeffers, and he was like, here, like to Jeffers, not to me. He's like, here, maybe you can do this. And he fucking bent a dime. He like literally had a dime in his hand. He put it in his thumbs, and he fucking bent it in half and put it on the table.
Jeez.
And I was like, what? Like I just couldn't wrap my head around what I just seen. No, fuck no. And he did it again later, and he's like, oh, no more. He's like, I think my thumb will hurt because it's just the pressure of it. You know what I mean? And like it's one of those things where you're like, yeah, dime. It's like maybe I could do that. I urge you to reach into your pocket right now and grab a dime and try to bend it and see how fucking impossible it is.
You have cash?
I don't have a dime on me at all, but I can tell you right now.
A gym owner's life.
That's our new competition, basically. Me and you, first one to bend a dime.
Yeah, but I tried.
And go home to my vice with a hammer.
Yeah, it was not feasible for me. That's for sure.
Even just fitting.
That's what I'm saying. How do you?
Like you go like this.
Like he grabbed it like.
He did it, so he had it like bent over his. He bent like over his thumb, I think. So
he held it here
because I thought there was a trick to it. I was like, well, so what's the trick? He's like, what? Like, there's no trick.
Yeah.
I just bent a dime. Like, I was like, oh, okay.
It's so small.
That's the thing is that he's got fucking gigantic hands. So it's just
cinder
like,
block. Mitts.
Yeah.
Shit.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was awesome, and it was just funny.
So you've seen a different side of him.
Yeah, it was cool. Like he was really. I mean, like he's always been like friendly, but he was just like really like.
Did he follow you on Instagram?
One
finally?
of the boys. No. So that did come up. So the competition was on Saturday, and on the Friday before we went out for dinner at the local pizza restaurant there, and I was sitting next to JF, and I was like, "Hey JF, just so you know, there's actually another Tyler Sigurdsson in Manitoba, and that's who you follow because you followed him prior to CSM."
Yeah.
And I was like, "That's actually who you follow. It's not me. It's like a different. It's like his Instagram is like Tyler Sigurdsson 204 or something." So I'm like, I could see why you would think it's me, but it's actually not me. And he was just like, "Cool," and like. Didn't do anything. He was like, I don't really use Instagram, and I was like,
just start following and unfollowing on your account.
Every day I'll just do that.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, fair enough. And then just to kind of show how drunk I was on that Saturday night, whatever.
You grabbed his phone.
No, I did not do that. But
I can't bend a dime, but check this
out. Break his phone. I shared a photo from the day, and I was like, oh, like thank you to JF Caron for reffing or whatever. And then I get a notification on my phone that was like, oh, JF like shared your or like reshared your photo or whatever the fuck it's called. And like across the bar, I was like, "Hey, what the fuck, man?" And he was like, "What?" I was like, "You just told me you don't use Instagram yesterday, but you just shared my thing." I was like, "Fucking follow me on Instagram." And I can't believe that I fucking said that to him. But I yelled across the bar, and he was just like, "Fuck, okay." And then like so he went and he was doing this thing that only JF could possibly do in this world, where he had a fucking wallet that was clearly full of money. And his phone, and he would just put it down somewhere and walk away from it. Like he'd put it on the bar and just like go walk somewhere else, or he'd put it on a table and go walk somewhere else, or whatever. And he was just like, "I can't find my phone," and I was like, "Fuck, okay," like whatever. And the next day, I was like, "Holy shit, I can't believe I fucking said that to that guy." Like he could just like turn me upside down by my fucking ankles if he wanted to.
So funny thing about Quebec strongman, particularly strongman, because it's not a powerlifting thing. Those guys are actual celebrities in their province.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure.
Who was before Boudreaux and JF?
Oh, it's Hugo.
Hugo
Gerard.
Hugo had like a wrapped vehicle with his face on it and shit, and making a lot of like side cash just for being Hugo Gerard,
just making appearances.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool to see, and I think that's why they have. I mean, there's strength in numbers, but another reason is that like Hugo could just be a strongman,
Right.
where it's like you guys work. Some of you have second jobs,
Right.
And then you have to squeeze training in,
Right.
and pick your shows based on travel. Whereas like Hugo was just Hugo, JF could just be JF.
They would put on their own shows to make money.
Well, JF's coming back this year and competing.
JF is going to compete at the Magnus Classic as his big return show, which is
Like in
really
Iceland.
exciting.
Really cool.
You know, in Iceland, yeah. People were like, "Oh, you know, that's got to be it for him," and like. For it, like you can't.
Well, he kind of said it was it.
He said that would be it, but I thought to myself, I'm like, you can't fucking play by like the regular rules with these guys, where it's like, sure, anybody else, that's their career.
I feel like he's younger than me still.
He's 38 or 9, I think. Yeah, so
still,
he's
he'll always be younger. Than me.
But he
He used to be younger than me. I don't know, is he still?
Like him and all these other guys, like when they have these catastrophic injuries, that's just not the end for these guys. Like they can they just have a fucking another level that they can dig down into that most people just don't have.
Yeah.
But to the celebrity thing, like man, like they're talking about they were nice enough to say that if the Western guys want to come out there to compete, since we're on the pro circuit, they'll help us out with costs and everything, which is nice. And we're talking about different shows that they have, and they have one coming up in one of the guys who was there's hometown. He says they're expecting like 2,000 to 3,000 people there for it.
Amazing.
Yeah, they do it. They do it as part of like a rodeo, and then the rodeo draws on its own, and then they have the strongman competition where it's like
CSM. You were in a rodeo ring.
Yeah. And it's like a ticketed event where they're planning to have 2,000 or 3,000 people there. It's fucking crazy. Like it's just like it's always nice when we have shows like say like our amateur shows here where the crowd's all made up of people who are there to cheer on somebody. Like they're there for someone in the thing. Like there's I think very very few people or very few competitions would you see someone where it's like, oh, I'm just a fan of the sport, just came to come check it out.
Yeah.
But say like the Magnus show or Westerns in Regina or CSM or whatever, it's like a weird experience where it's like, no, people are just here because they want to see strongman. They just like they're a fan of the sport and they can appreciate and respect it and stuff. And it's really, really kind of mind blowing.
Well, that was the Magnus last year. We had a bunch of people who were just a fan of Magnus, or
it was just people who were at the festival. You know what I mean? And they're just like it's like an Icelandic festival. Strongman is very closely connected to the history of Iceland and everything, right? So people are like, well, why would I check this out? And all of a sudden, you end up with like a really great crowd, like say we had on the beach with the deadlifts, where it's like a few hundred people there gathered around to see on the beach on these deadlifts. It looks fucking awesome, and it's just you don't get that all that often as an amateur competitor. So it's nice to give that.
Do you think your career would blossom even further if you started just by going by Sigurdsson?
And drop Tyler?
Yeah,
probably. Well, on the circuit they always add an extra S in my name.
Sigurdsson.
So it's like that was my grandpa's name.
Was it?
There we go. My great grandpa's name.
Yeah.
My grandpa's name was Thor. Actually, my great grandpa's name was Sigurd. But
you got Tyler.
Me and my brother actually
back to the feminization of society.
Tyler and Blake.
Me and all my cousins are the first generation to not have Icelandic names. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking, but I lost train of thought there. Oh yeah, they add the extra S on my name, so it seems a lot more Icelandic, which makes it seem cool. I don't correct them. I just let that slide.
I would run with that.
It's like SIGURD
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah. I thought the two S's were at the front.
Yeah, Sigurdsson.
Snake.
He's quaking in his boots. Sigurdsson.
Yeah, but those those Eastern shows are something different, and then I'm gonna try to get out there. I think for one in September maybe.
Like
That'd be
outside
really
of
cool.
if you qualify or don't, you're gonna get the one there anyways. You're saying.
Yeah, because they have them pretty much all. They have them until like so. Even if I do go to CSM, that'd be the end of August, and then that'd be pretty much it for me. And they have them until like October or something. So I was like, yeah,
weather's a little better out there
yeah,
than here.
Yeah. Go hang on Quebec City. Like I don't know if you've been to Quebec City, that area.
Not Quebec City, Montreal.
So it's like night and day. Like it's because like imagining like
It's dark one place, light the other.
yeah, this is night and day. Yeah, it's like Montreal's very like urban and like cool and whatever, and Quebec City is much more like rural and like I should say the area around Quebec City.
Like old French.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of people don't speak English.
Oh, like St. Malo.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like that. A lot of people don't speak English around there and stuff, but it's like a very different sort of feeling there, where it's not as like fast paced as say Montreal or whatever. Like
What Steinbach is to Manitoba,
Yeah,
Quebec
exactly.
City is to
yeah,
Quebec.
sure,
The
that's
armpit.
fair. Yeah,
Yeah, kind of. But it's kind of like they're
I know what you're
trapped
saying.
in a
Yeah.
time warp.
Yeah.
yeah,
Old fashioned. A lot of the old stuff is still.
Yeah.
yeah.
The old culture.
Well, it's like me and my dad went to McDonald's, and the kids, it's like kids who were working at McDonald's, and none of them spoke English.
Did you get a Le Royale with cheese?
Yeah, no, we were trying. I was trying to get pancakes, and they didn't understand that. And I was like, hotcakes. I'm like, that's your fucking McDonald's language. Like that's your word, and they didn't get that.
Crepe.
Yeah,
Is that what it is?
yeah, that is what it was.
Yeah.
And they had to go get somebody who spoke English.
Wow.
And I was like, dude, it's a fucking like McDonald's order. Like, how could this be so challenging? But it's a different world over there.
Yeah.
It's a little different over there.
It's yeah, that makes sense.
Like my dad gets very agitated at French people who don't speak English. He really that's like his number one pet peeve, I think, because he also always thinks that they're fucking with him too. I think that he thinks that it's a game that they're playing, which it might be sometimes, but it's definitely that gets on his nerves very, very quickly.
He's probably still fucking Canada.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I remember during like all the talk of like secession and stuff, he was like, "Let them go and keep all of our shit, and they can have all their shit," and blah blah blah. And I was like.
Your dad's a big supporter of the bloc.
Yeah, kind of like indirectly, I guess.
Yeah. Questions?
Yeah, should we hammer some of the questions that we had?
Yeah.
At the,
Yeah.
What are you doing?
What's more important than the show?
I still have 2 businesses running right now, boys.
Me too. They're just not successful, so I don't think anything about them. Okay. What is the path to Strongman, Provincials, Nationals as a new competitor in Strongman? I think we've gone over that a couple times, but I'll just to make it really fast, I guess. Devin, do you want to give him that one?
Yeah, what's the past Strongman Prince now says new competitor Strongman? Well, this year's the easiest for Manitobans, but I'd say if you're novice, I know who sent this and he was novice, which is great. Do the novice show like he did. It's our buddy.
He did Tolstoi too.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. But that's it. I mean, he's at a disadvantage because he's shorter. He runs in the U120 or the Open. Mm-hmm. And his strength isn't at those levels yet because he's very new.
Yeah.
Now, if you're calling someone short,
yeah, well, like us, like
like
you,
you,
we still got to measure this
yeah.
because the last time you were 5'10" and a quarter.
I'm 5'11", you're 5'10".
And a quarter.
Is he actually 5'11"? You think? I'm 5'10" and a half. I used to be 5'11", but I guess I just lifted more weights and it shrunk me down.
Compress your spine.
Yeah. Well, you're throwing car deadlifts at yourself.
Donkey Kong barrels. No, for him, I'd say, get your feet wet in a novice show. I know SEC has a novice division. We just haven't promoted it. So it's just
we have our one novice show. That's enough.
Yeah, it's too many classes. So for him, I would hit Vita. I would definitely do Vita again. Take another shot at it. Because I got to look back to this, I might get wrong. But if I'm correct, the people who qualified through Tolstoi, I think the next ones qualify after that.
Yep.
So if those 3 or 5, whenever I go through all the stances, we can send out all the things. But he has a shot at qualified provincials then. He should have a good shot because we don't have that many competitors in each class. I think pretty much if you did both shows, you should qualify.
Yep. It's that's kind of where we're at right now with our stuff is that our competitor numbers are they're growing, but they're low enough right now that most people who want to will get to go to provincials.
Yeah. Now nationals, different story.
Different story.
Unless I would say you're not quite at national level yet. But give it. I mean, I would hit the provincials, hit every show you can this year. I mean, and he will. If he signs up for Vita, he'll hit. He does Vita in the Brick House show. He'll hit every show he can,
Right.
Which is great for his first year.
Right.
And then it sucks because Nationals in Winnipeg this year, and it's a great
Well,
opportunity.
let's talk about it purely in like
Not according to him.
just anybody.
Yeah.
You do a qualifier. You go to provincials at the Brick House show in end of July.
Yeah.
And then you punch through that. You punch your ticket to nationals, which is
What do you have to place?
top 3, I think.
It depends on. So if it's 5 people, top 3. If you go to 6 competitors in class, 6 and 7, then you go top 4. The more people in the class, the more people qualify.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of people that will get to go, and I think
everybody should do. Every competitor in Manitoba that's doing provincials and nationals should do Tolstoi and do Vita because it's all different events, and provincials is different events, and mixed in all those events. There's a good chance that in any comp, if you do 3 or 4 comps, you will probably hit every event that they generally will host at a nationals throughout that circuit.
Realistically, there's only so many options, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So if you're like, I want to hit nationals here, but I don't know what the events are, and no one knows besides me and you, you should be hitting every comp you can because they get sprinkled in regardless because there's only so many implements we have.
Speaking of that too, somebody from Saskatchewan said that someone had told them that they knew what the events for nationals were. No, you fucking don't. So whoever said that, if you're listening to this right now, fuck you.
Yeah.
Because you don't know shit.
There's 3 people. There's 3 people who know the events. 4, me, you, Max, and Sam.
Yes.
Like Goliath.
And Simone, who does who's also like in the head office.
If it came from someone from Saskatchewan, it didn't come from me or you.
No. So fuck you. It's really annoying that people are trying to already like put that shit out there because we're going we are being very, very careful to make sure that we're not giving anybody from our gym any special advantages. We're not giving anybody from Manitoba any special advantages. We take this job very seriously, and we're not allowed.
We're building all new equipment for nationals.
Yeah.
No one even knows, and any equipment won't be revealed till nationals.
It's not being made by anybody who's in the scene. It's not being made by anybody who knows what it means or
I'm
anything.
using a different welding shop. Even like we're trying to keep it completely.
You guys invented 2 new events, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's things that you've never even conceived of before. But yeah, so this is Martin who's reaching out here right now, and is that?
And I give props to him. I love this guy. I just met him, but this guy's a hoot.
So if I was to say for him or someone who's in a similar position as him, give yourself a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Use this year. If you don't qualify for the first year, which is likely the case, come back next year and do it again.
For a guy who he's like, I really want to qualify.
Right.
You might have to look into doing a weight cut.
Yeah.
Or a water cut until a different division.
And I wouldn't recommend that for Martin.
No.
And he's
Not
a guy
your first year.
he's here having fun, and I want you to keep having fun. So a water cut's not the answer for that.
But if long term, like, hey, I want to hit nationals, and at his height and his stature, I would look
For
at
sure.
this, maybe this next off season and throughout this year go on a little bit of a weight cut.
Just cut down.
Get your feet wet this year if it's your
Do the events.
Do some shows.
Cut some weight over winter. Come back and hit it next year again.
And just doing it. That's the best answer.
But this guy, he's volunteered. He wants to help too.
We did a JF seminar after the competition, and one of the girls who was there volunteering, who went there just to volunteer, by the way, like she went there just to help out and lend a hand.
Awesome.
She rules. Asked because she said like, oh, everyone else here is kind of a pro, and I'm brand new to this. Like, what's something that you can tell me that you wouldn't tell them? And JF said, compete as much as you possibly can. And I really wish that I'd recorded that because I could play that all fucking day on my Instagram story whenever someone tells me all the reasons that they can't do a show that's not like legitimate. But a lot of, I want to save myself for this, or I want to train for that, or do this, or do that, or whatever. It's like, well, JF Caron thinks that you should compete as much as you possibly can. So unless you know more than JF Caron, maybe you should just fucking compete. Like,
yeah. Well, and that plays into one of our other questions here that Colton sent in.
So before we go on to that, that's one thing that started to bug me about powerlifting is myself and the guys and gals I was close with competed because we loved competing. Mm-hmm. And when you see people calculating, like, I'm going to do 3 shows this year and I'm going to do provincials, qualify for Westerns, and go to nationals. You're like, so are you just competing to win? Because we all compete to win.
Right.
But are you only doing this because you want to be successful in an adult recreation sport?
You've lost
or
the
do you
plot.
love? Yeah. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Just compete because you love competing and you love doing the shows and training for the shows and being around other people who are competing for the shows.
Right.
And just taking that moment and enjoy it. And
I think a lot of people get wrapped up in the idea of like I think it's great when people take it seriously. I think it's great when like you can take a hobby seriously.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be this thing where you have to like have a flippant attitude about it because you're like, well, I don't want to be seen as taking this too seriously or whatever.
Yeah.
Take it seriously, but at the same time, remember why you're doing this.
Yeah.
Like let's go to Colton's question there actually because this couldn't tie in much better than this.
We'll hit that one there too. Right here.
What the hell is wrong with amateurs these days?
Perfect.
So, what I was thinking about this question because Devin sent it earlier, and I know that this is kind of a pointed question right now because there's a discussion in Alberta about this competition that's always really fun and always really awesome is not sanctioned. It's not with any of SEC or with
Classic
circuit or whatever.
Yeah.
So they there's no like pro card up for grabs at the competition, and that's made people decline or back out or withdraw, which is maybe one of the stupider things I've ever heard in this sport. Is that you have an opportunity? Someone's putting up it's like really good prize money. This one, equal prize money for the men and the women. The events are fun. It's 2 days. It's part of a big festival. Good crowd, and people are getting so lost in the idea of like, well, I'm not gonna get my pro status from this. Again, I use the term like you've really lost the plot of this. The point of this is to compete and have fun.
Exactly.
The fact that you get to like, sure, having a pro status is cool because now it's like I get benefits that other people might not get, that the amateurs might not get.
There's shit that comes with it though too.
For sure. Yeah. Well, you limit. First of all, you limit how many shows you can do.
Yeah.
You can only do so many shows.
Yeah.
As a pro because I can't do the amateur shows anymore.
Yeah.
So I have to take that's why I'm going to Alberta 3 times this summer to compete.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Getting
you know
your pro
what I mean?
card is a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
Now you have to travel for every show.
Yeah, you get little things like sure, like my hotel's covered and things like that. Like that's nice. Obviously, that's nice. But I would still go and do the show if it wasn't. You know what I mean? Like it's just it's a really really silly thing to be like, well, I started doing this thing because I love it, and now I won't do it because I can't progress in this weird arbitrary way. That's like, you know, when I got my pro status at Westerns last year, I had no idea until someone told me at the end of it, like we were like done, like we were leaving.
Yeah.
And someone's like, "Oh, so you're the newest pro now?" And I was like, "I don't think so." And they're like, "No, you beat enough pros, and you're at a sanctioned pro show,
Yeah.
like a pro am, whatever. Like you're a pro now."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, I didn't even know because it wasn't on my mind at all." Like I was like, "I'm going to CSM. That's what I fucking care about," which I think is like, that's what people need to focus on. Is like, I want to go to CSM. Being pro is great, and that's cool, but I want to go to CSM.
Yeah.
So if someone's like, "Oh, I want to be a pro," like that's fantastic to have those goals for yourself. But if you're not competing because it's not going to lead to a pro status, like that's fucking stupid. That's really, really stupid, and you're missing an opportunity to compete against the guys who are really fucking good in a show that's really good, and a good chance you'll get some money too.
Yeah.
It's really, really silly.
Yeah. That was the first year that we drove down to Dubreuilville. There was no end goal with it other than this is a cool road trip.
Right.
We're going to go to Thunder Bay, meet up with Kyle and Dallas and Rob, and then drive up there with them and have a wicked weekend. Plus, we get to compete.
Right. Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's the whole point of it. You win, you lose, whatever. Who cares? There's other shows.
You hang out with your boys. And
Yeah. And it's about, like, the experience.
Right. And I like, we talk about guys like, say, like Bus or Rayner or like just any of these guys who were Halliday, these guys who were doing it back in the day. I'm like, Dole, like there wasn't a pro status to be had. You were just doing the sport. Like you were just doing strongman, and some guys went to Canadians and some guys did this and that, but it was just like you're just doing the sport because you love to fucking do it.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that Bus ever technically had like a pro status, but I would be hard pressed to find somebody who wouldn't hold him in the same regard as any pro.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that wouldn't make sense. And to your point there too, with the idea of like if you win, lose, like fuck it, who cares? Like another thing that JF said that I thought was really profound was that if you compete 3 times in a year, you compete once and then you compete like 2 months later. Let's just say you fucking blow it at that show. Like you have a really, really awful show and it doesn't go well. Well, what are you going to be thinking about for the next 2 months while you prepare for that next show? That fucking show.
Yeah.
What if you compete the next weekend? You're not going to be thinking about that show anymore.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like it's like
Pack it up.
the more you compete, the more like it's just like that's gone, that's done, and don't worry about it. And I know that people get stuck in the idea of it's like, oh well, it's other people's perception of me, and I want to be blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, that's fine, I get that, but no one remembers if you're competing 5 times. No one remembers how you did the first show. They remember how you did the last couple, maybe.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
short-term memory.
Like, yeah, and it's frustrating to see people kind of get so lost in the wrong parts of this. Like we're supposed to want to do it, and we see that on this level here too, where it's like guys will be like, "Oh, you do Invita?" It's like, "Well, no, I already qualified for provincials with Tolstoi." It's like, yeah, but we like doing this, don't we? Like, isn't that why we do the sport? Because we like to compete. Like,
Yeah.
Deloli qualified, he's doing both. You know, Anna qualified, he's doing both. Like it's just Nate, everybody.
I had a bunch of guys that Are they signed up for Vita?
They will be if they're not. But
We only got 4 signups for Vita.
we're gonna get a little rush of our guys
4 or
right away.
5.
I would like some credit for my Deloli picture that I made with the Bronson movie poster.
Oh yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah,
I was pretty proud of that.
that was good. That was very good.
Yeah, that's good.
Very muzzy.
Yeah. I hope that kind of answers Colton's non-question because I know what he was getting at there, and it's guys. We've been the term it's kind of turned into like a running joke in the Western pro guys is saving it for Westerns.
Yeah.
Because we've been hearing that from guys where it's like, are you competing in the show? Oh, no, I'm just saving it for Westerns.
Yeah.
And it was like, dude, me and Jeffers, as an example, are competing 3 weeks before Westerns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Jeffers is trying to win this motherfucker.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to get on the podium. You know what I mean? Like these are guys who are trying to compete at the highest level at Westerns, and we're going and doing other stuff. So it's like
Jeffers had a couple comps for Westerns, I think. Does he not have one more too? I've seen him post.
the K-Days one, the King of the Klondike. That's after, but it's like right after,
okay. Yeah.
and it's like right before Canadians. You know what I mean? Like it's like these are all bunched in together. But and he's a guy where it's like I'm really hoping that we can get him on here when he's here next week because he like I don't think he probably is close to the most competing athlete in Western Canada, and he's been doing it for 3 years, 4 years. Like he's done so many fucking competitions.
He's here for the whole weekend?
I think so. Maybe we'll try to do like a Sunday morning or something. But he's a guy where he like to the point where I was like, he's got to fucking chill out because he's gonna blow a tire or something. You know what I mean? But he just kept doing it. He kept getting better, and it's just it's really something to that I think where it's just like keep fucking competing, like keep doing it, and keep just like getting beaten and then beating some people and like. I told some of the guys in my gym, like when I did my first year, I made a list of everybody who beat me. Yeah. And most of those names have been crossed off. Not Scott Cumming, but most of those names have been crossed off of that list over time. Yeah. And a lot of them don't do it anymore and whatever this and that. But it's like I've given myself something where I'm like I gave myself 1 year to get shit kicked by everybody, and then after that I want to start climbing up this ladder a little bit. But for the amateur guys just need to.
Did you ever beat Dom?
No. I beat him in an event once, and I posted that on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and then people didn't know that an event was one part of an entire competition.
Amazing.
So I go to Bar I, and they're like, "I can't believe you beat Dom," and I was like, "I know, like it's fucking crazy." That actually reminds me because when I did the first novice show, it was like right after Dom won Westerns, I think, or maybe not, but he was winning. He was doing very, very well. And but he doesn't have any social media or anything. Yeah. So I did the novice show and I posted it all over my Instagram. I was all excited and proud, whatever. And I came to the gym or to the bar where he'd been working for years at that point. And everybody who was all the regulars there were like, "Oh my god, like I can't believe that you're doing the strongman thing. That's so fucking cool. That's so crazy. Like how heavy was it?" And Dom's just sitting there like, "What the fuck, man? Like this is literally one of the strongest guys in the country, and nobody had any idea that's what he was doing." But
good old social media.
He's got to be loud about it. That's all it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Loudest voice wins.
That's right.
That's what it is.
What's our next question there?
Yeah, I'll go through a couple. We have that diet question we can hit. I know you said we'll hit it this episode. Western predictions. I don't know. I don't even know who's. Tyler top 10.
Is Devin going to eat popcorn right before the Hercules hold on June 10th? Devin?
That video's going to be Yeah, we'll find out, won't we?
Let's get that video up on the page.
Yeah, we will. And if I do eat popcorn, I'm telling you, I'm not licking my fingers clean before I give him his handles.
That's right, that's, as you should.
Yeah, I'm going to leave these bad boys buttery.
Yeah.
Now, regardless if he slips grip, he's going to blame me.
Yeah,
you know what? Actually, crumble some Monster cookies into the popcorn.
Yeah.
That could actually be pretty
good. Then you'd be in business, yeah.
I'd be into that.
It's actually good. It's a good plan.
What's our next one there?
Okay, what is this one here?
AI meal plans. How do you feel about them?
The hell's an AI meal plan?
AI? Artificial intelligence.
They're making meal plans, huh?
They do everything.
I have a pretty negative opinion on AI in general, so I don't really know.
I think it's going to destroy a lot of people.
Well, you know what? Controversial. I'm for it.
Really?
I gave up doing meal plans because
are you for it in the act? It's going to take over the acting scene. It's going to take over everything.
This is just the meal plan question.
So you mean you're for the AI and the meal plans?
Yeah,
but not
in generally. Not in
general. I think it's bad for society.
Right.
It's horrible.
It'll be more lost jobs and it's going to be tough out
more
there
tent
for people.
cities and more.
Yeah.
But as far as AI meal plans, if you're not going to follow one from a coach, you're not going to follow one from your computer. So go ahead,
That's
dial up whatever AI has for you.
Maybe the
and
AI
at the same time,
maybe they won't call you on your bullshit when you're lying to AI.
yeah, doing a meal plan for a client takes more time than they actually know.
Yeah.
And I stopped putting that time in because
It's not a very profitable venture.
Yeah, people don't follow them and they lie to you.
Yep.
And so, I mean, I'll take a little shot here, but if you're gonna get an AI meal plan, it's no different than GFit copy and pasting a meal plan for you.
Yes.
Yeah, you know that was literally my first thought, and I've seen these meal plans from people.
Yeah.
Where it's just like that's copy and paste from someone that I saw yesterday.
Right.
Yeah.
So go ahead and make an AI meal plan because you're not going to follow that.
I hope the AI calls them on their shit. Like if they do an update, like, oh, I gained weight this week, I hope the AI is just like, yeah, because you
fuck you, yeah, because you suck.
Like there's no, because the AI doesn't have no feelings.
Nope.
Yeah, that's true.
That would be
very cold and
that
calculated.
would be, oh man, then I would almost support it.
That would be funny.
Yeah.
Overall, I'm against AI.
The AI thing as a whole is I'm pretty against.
Yeah.
I just hate the stupid shit where it's like, oh, they had AI say, do if the Beatles did the Rolling Stones' Wild Horses. It's like, who could possibly give a shit about that? Like,
Yeah.
God damn.
Although you might be into this, you probably won't know anyone I'm about to name. Someone used AI to have Biggie and Tupac sing a 50 Cent song, and it was so good.
Really?
Like they captured their tone, their cadence, their mannerisms, and you're like, "What? This is a really good song."
Once I saw.
I do know who they are.
Do you? All three of them?
Yeah.
That's impressive for you.
50 Cent? I thought that might be one you wouldn't know. 50 Cent, you know?
Of course I know 50 Cent.
What's the song from 50 Cent?
Candy Shop.
Let's hear it right now.
Yes, let's go. Let's go.
I'm white. I don't rap. I don't dance. I don't rap. I don't do nothing. I'm white as shit.
I'm aware, but hold on. We're gonna pull up a song.
So you're saying 50 Cent makes black music, or he's a rapper?
I think he does both. I would say I can't recite half his lyrics because I get canceled more than the Bud Light.
Here we go.
Yeah, no, I ain't singing, boys.
Come on.
It's not
I just wanna
happening.
hear
I don't even know the lyrics.
You don't know the lyrics to it?
No, I'm just a young white boy.
Candy Shop. All right.
Of course I know those. Yeah.
But that was a really. I would never suspect you to say Candy Shop when we said that. But
Of all the songs, Candy Shop.
Are you going to go see him when he comes here?
I don't think so. If I can get the box, maybe, but I don't sit in general pop for rap shows.
No.
I'm not trying to get stabbed.
Too expensive.
Too expensive.
I have a rapper working for me here now, and he just won. He just got a plaque from iTunes for his song's #1 on the inspirational charts right now.
Do you want to give him a shout out?
Is he a Christian rapper?
Yep.
Yes.
Christian rapper.
Yeah, Armani Ye.
Wow.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Armani
And
Ye.
I have Chief working for me too, like Richard Inman. He's up on the charts too. I got 2 musicians working for me.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, but he just got a thing from iTunes for #1 on the inspirational charts.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good for him.
He just started with me on Monday.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Now, what is his ethnicity of origin?
Well, I'm not going to say what I called him. But
Whoa.
he's half black, half native.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's an interesting mix.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to get like a white.
That's definitely what I was imagining
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
And that was going to call
And the
that
other
out.
one, Chief, he's native.
Oh.
I think he's Blackfoot.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Chief thing
Gave it
mostly
away?
gave it away.
I like his music. That's my style of music. Americana, folk.
This one I like.
Favorite Strongman event?
I'm a presser. I
Yeah.
like pressing events.
Which one? Viking, log, circus dumbbell.
Viking,
Your feelings?
pretty stationary for me. As a powerlifter, Viking press. Log I really like, and I love overhead press. It's like a staple in all my programming. The clean is kind of tough, but it's easier with the log when you get the technique. But yeah, like Viking or log press would be my favorite. Stones I kind of like, but I just suck at because I'm not built for it. Mm-hmm. I've got shorter arms, all things considered, and it makes it pretty tough to get into that.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's a few guys like from Quebec especially who are really, really strong, but they're shorter and stubbier, and it really affects their ability to do stones.
Totally.
Like it's really not
Stones,
a good event.
kegs, that all affects it.
Yeah, like if you could just like, if it had a handle, they could pick up
100%.
more than I could probably. But if it's just when you have to reach your arms around it, like that was a real.
I think I got
problem.
325 in Regina once, and that I felt like a world beater getting that because it's just the heavier they get, they're obviously bigger, and like getting that and lapping it, you're like, if I can lap it, I have the hip strength to drive my hips through and roll it up onto my chest and finish it. But it's just getting it off the ground, and that's so tough. And the tacky sucks. I hate the tacky, but we're talking about the ones we like. I guess we could do our least liked as well with this.
For sure. Yeah.
What's your least liked?
Stones.
What's your? Well, I know your favorite's probably Stones.
I've actually really started to like deadlifts in the last year or so. It used to be kind of a whatever event for me, and now it's really picked up to be one that I can usually get top 3 in, which I'm pretty happy with. Stones have been good to me too lately.
Your stone video on our intro on YouTube, if you haven't watched it on YouTube, our intro, your stone where you rip the shirt.
Yeah.
It looks like staged.
Yeah,
it's so awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
I really
a great
did like
shot.
that one. And it was really cool because that was all like RDS is like the TSN in Quebec. So it's like so it's all very sorry, I guess
it's very professionally done.
Very professionally shot, and it looked really cool. It was nice to have that kind of footage from that. But I just kept fucking taking my shirt from me. Every single stone would take a little more from me. Yeah. But stones have been I would say if I was to pick an event where I was like, okay, this would be a good one for me, it's probably stones, because it's been one where it's been the press is always going to be whatever for me, like middle of the pack.
Yeah.
And then I usually make it up for pretty good at the end. Like I said, I think I was 5th or 6th going into the last event, and then I finished in 3rd. So it ended up being a good one for me.
What's your worst of it?
Your
least favorite? Least
favorite would probably be circus dumbbell. I'm really just not good at it. Like I just really haven't figured it out yet. Like I'm kind of trying to work on it now because it's at Westerns, but I just have not fucking cracked it. I also hate anything that's grip based because I'm not good at it.
Yeah,
basically anything that I'm good at I like, and anything that I'm bad at I don't like. So frame carry, I put frame carry at the very top. That's my least favorite.
Frame carry sucks again with not having long arms. You're holding it.
It's wide,
way out there, and just loads your upper back as well as the grip.
Yeah,
and then you have to walk. You're like, no, I don't like this.
Yeah, it was. That was a big point loser for me at St. Paul, and it's going to be an issue I think too at Western. So I'll really have to scrape together everything I can with that one, and then make up for it later.
Yeah,
Kevin.
Favorite events. I mean, I like moving events.
Yeah.
Put me in a farmer walk, frame carry. I know I'm short with short arms, but if I can pick, so my issue's always been my deadlift hasn't always been great. So if it's a matter of whether I can even pick the implement up.
Right.
But if it gets up, it doesn't go back down.
The big dog. So we have Devin has the big dog frame.
Yeah.
If you remember that one.
Yeah.
And so he's lent it to me. So it just sits next to my turf.
Yeah.
And I put it on my story that if any non-strength athletes can pick this up and move with it, I'll give them $1 a foot for every foot that they can.
Well, that
move
frame
it.
is gross.
Yeah, and I said $1 if you could just pick it, and no one's been able to pick it yet. So.
No,
really?
No.
Yeah. So I like moving events. Farmers, yoke, frame carry. I love those events. I enjoy logs. I was okay at it.
Can I guess your least favorite?
Yeah, you damn well know exactly what it is.
Stones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's a disconnect there for me with Stones, and it's I was watching Melissa Peacock there. I'm doing Stones. I'm like, well, she can definitely do more than I can in Stones.
For sure. Yeah.
There's a massive. I had a good front squat. I had all the, and I just can't. I lap that stone, and it's a disconnect.
That spinal.
Yeah,
flexion.
I can't. Yeah, I can't get it up.
Extension and flexion.
It's rough, guys.
Stuff.
To stay on that question, just something that popped in my head. For you guys, as far as like a timed event, moving event, stationary event, progressive loading, or 1 rep max, what do you like the most, or what do you prefer?
I do better in reps.
Yeah.
1 rep max is always more fun.
Yeah.
But I like if it was like a deadlift. So let's use Morris as an example. Like it's a deadlift ladder where the last one goes to reps.
Yeah.
I have a better chance at beating Jeffers in that than I do if it was just a straight up deadlift, max deadlift for weight. I do better at reps, and that kind of goes across the board with other stuff too. Like my max log is so, but I could hit a few reps at just a few pounds under my max.
Yeah.
So
you can get more volume at a higher percentage.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I forgot the question already.
What type of movement? And throw medleys in there as well, which I hate medleys.
Yeah.
But Like stationary. I think I know your answer because you're probably going to say like mobile events.
Yeah.
Medleys, timed stuff, max effort stuff, progressive stuff.
I like moving in medleys. I like medleys because it throws another avenue, and it's more of a. I think it's sort of it doesn't favor one more than the other. I mean, if you can move with an implement, it's good, but it also helps with max strength, right? Because if you can't pick up the damn implant and run with it, you'll really see people gas out. And it brings in the conditioning aspect, but it brings in the.
Well, that is actual conditioning.
Yeah, so I like medleys. I usually throw one in. I haven't actually. I don't even think I have one in this year's comps. Fuck, I have to put that in somewhere. I like medleys. I think it's one. I know. I think it's one where it gives the guys who might be a little weaker the ability to dig deep in heart and push through pain.
I do agree with that. Yeah, I do agree with that.
Because some guys are so physically strong they don't have to dig through a lot of adversity in the comps. If all the implements turn into a rep event for them, they just got to be conditioned enough to do it. They don't have to dig that deep because I'll do the events. The guys who struggle to even lift the implement but have the grit and mental strength to endure the shitty feeling, the pain, can gain a bunch of points and still hang with the bike. I like those events.
Yeah, I think medleys really show how athletic strongmen are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where if you're in the crowd and you're like, well, I could do anything once, you're like, okay, now do 80% of your work capacity for almost 3 minutes.
Right.
I like watching.
Die.
I like watching the guys run back to the start to get the next implement. Watching all the different body styles, try to run back. Some can run really well, and some of the guys.
I think it goes in waves too, like where you used to see those medleys a lot, like yoke into farmers into back drag, and I don't think you don't see it that much anymore. Yeah,
back drag's a shit finisher.
Yeah, and it used to be like a fucking like talk about staples. Like that was one that was really like you always saw a back drag.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Maybe it's because,
I guess MSM might have to throw that in there.
Maybe it's because the guys who were competing in that era are now the guys who are putting on the shows, and they were like, I don't want to fucking do that anymore.
I don't want to put somebody through this yet.
Yeah.
I almost killed myself twice over this. So I don't know if it's worth doing that.
Back drags were ones that like. That might be the most underrated as like the worst event in strongman, like the hardest event in strongman.
Totally.
It's just a really heavy back drag for a long distance, especially after doing something else.
Yeah, you're exhausted, you're out of breath,
your quads are lit up,
and now your quads just fire up,
blow up.
Back drag.
Yeah,
there's nothing you want more than just to fall onto your ass.
Yeah,
and it's just
and never get.
That's got to be like a last or second last event because otherwise
I usually throw the medleys in right at the end.
Yeah.
This is what I do. Yeah. How's nationals planning going?
Good. I mean, it's slow and steady. We're gonna have everything that we need ready for it and ready in time for it. But we have our.
It'll just be sponsored.
Should we say where it is?
Yeah, we can say where it is.
We can say where it is now, right? Yeah. So we're gonna be having it at the Minto Armory in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Which is like a really, I don't know what the square footage is, but it's fucking big.
It's big, and there's no poles.
Yes.
It's steel structure or whatever, so or concrete.
It's a huge, wide open space with a very high ceiling, and it has like I don't know what you call it, like Coliseum seating, I think, where it's like the seats are all at the top there.
Sweet.
So we're gonna really do our best.
Like an AC/DC video.
Yeah, and we're gonna really do our best to make sure that like that's where the audience sits and not on the floor with the athletes.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Because like everybody gets their coach, everybody gets their second with them, whoever that may be. And the problem then becomes, it's like, well, my second is my wife and my kids are here. You know what I mean? And so now it's like, well, let's try to have it so there's a separate place where they can go and sit. And it's all in view and everybody can see everything. And then, but it's going to be really, really exciting. And I have a friend who is a military guy who hooked us up with that, Chris, and he was really cool. And
that's awesome.
Yeah. So it's going to be a really, really great space. And maybe I'll post
because budgeting for it, like we were looking at different venues. And like we're talking 10K plus.
We were gonna eat shit. This guy Chris really came through in a big way and got us a really good deal on this place.
Yeah.
We just had to sign up for a 4-year stint in the Army, and that's all we got to do.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Yep. And we'll start that next year, and then we'll. But it was like it's for the space that we're getting, we would have literally paid 5 times.
It was over 10 grand to go anywhere else. The cheapest we found was $4K a day.
Yeah. It was
and then they wanted us for 3 days, and we're like, we don't have 12 grand in the budget.
Yeah, I really had no idea how much it costs to rent a building like that.
Yeah. So we were out of touch. We had unrealistic expectations of what it should cost.
I was like, a few grand for a weekend. That seems reasonable, right? And it's like, no, not reasonable.
We hit up community centers, like social halls.
Yeah.
But some places like, we don't want implements dropped on our floor.
That became a big problem, was finding places that were okay with the idea of what Strongman was.
Yeah.
Because I would like, there's a soccer field. This would be perfect. We can it's a big open space and it's got seating already around it. And they were like, what are you fucking insane? Like, you're not dropping shit in our soccer field.
Intentionally indoors?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because it's in October.
We did entertain outdoors.
We thought about
Because
doing
we
a tent
couldn't find
outside
venue.
when we
Yeah.
couldn't find a venue. We were thought about doing a tent outside,
looked
which
at
I think
it.
would still be a viable option.
We looked at big tent rentals and everything.
Yeah.
And they're again $5,000 for a weekend, $6,000 to get tents rented.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
not cheap on its own.
But I think that would be an option for like if we were to do like a fall show or something to keep it outside. That's perfectly viable.
Still looking for some sponsors for nationals.
Yeah, and let's maybe put that out there that if anybody, if we know any small business owners, if we know any big business owners, if we know anybody who works for places that are, and this is not a charitable donation. Like this is going to be an event that's going to be viewed by thousands of people online.
Yeah, it'll be live streamed.
It's going to be live streamed. It's going to be professionally live streamed. We're going to have. I would hope for us to have close to 1,000 people in the building for the competition with spectators and athletes and everything else.
Yep.
So it's going to be a very visible thing, and we're
going to try getting some food vendors. We're going to
So if whoever might feel like getting involved, please drop me or Devin a line. We've already got some really great sponsors online. We've got SBD presenting the weekend. We've got Molson and Hooters involved.
Yep.
We've got White Lion is going to be jumping on board. We've got a bunch of really they're awesome.
he's
Man. We
always
got
DJ will do anything.
Yeah, he's great. And we have a ton of really awesome sponsors that are already involved, but it's, I'll to be totally blunt with you, it's going to be a very, very high budget show. It's going to cost us a lot of money to do this show, and realistically, we're just trying to make sure we don't lose our ass on it.
Right now we're in the tens of thousands of dollars behind.
Yeah. So and we're just trying to. It's going to be I'll tell you right now, if anybody, because I was this way where it's like, why we got to pay all these fucking fees for the blah blah blah. If anybody wants to know a breakdown of how the money's being spent, I'd be happy to tell you because
I'm telling you, like NASA is going to cost us $50,000 plus.
Yeah, I would be more than happy to sit with anybody.
I know if it comes down to it, we're eating that somehow between me and Tyler.
Yeah. So
that's coming out of pocket, and then don't watch this part, Danielle.
Well,
you better get it. You have to get it.
It's gonna
the third job.
Yeah, it'll be split between me and Devin some percentage. I don't know.
I was like, we'll get the funding.
We're in a position where we're gonna be able to break even, which is what we're looking for.
Yeah, that's the goal.
But if anybody, like I said, if anybody's interested in sponsorship, like I said, it's not charity. You will get a return on your sponsorship.
And helpers. We will be needing a shit ton of volunteers. I already have some lined up. Got guys reaching out from other provinces. I'm sure some of the Strongman Corp reps that aren't competing are going to do it.
We're gonna.
But sooner than later, because I want that show to run like a top. It has to run.
Yeah.
I have it figured out to the minutes of each event. So in order to hit our timeline.
Yep. Yeah. We're gonna be really, really calculated with it, and we've already got.
I don't want to treat them like cattle, but there's going to be like.
No, it won't be that way, but it's going to be efficient.
But you've got 30
fast.
seconds to get to your event or your time.
They're what it's going to be is they're going to be treated like professionals who have a time to hit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's the way that I'm kind of putting into perspective is that I know it's really easy to feel like we're like I said, like cattle, like we're rushing you through and we're going to the next thing. What we're going to treat you is like adults who understand that this is a professionally ran event and it has to be run at a certain time.
Yeah.
And
200 some athletes
I think that
in
everyone's
6
going to
hours.
understand that.
Like we have goals we have to hit in order to hit our timelines. Yep.
We're gonna have people there. Like we're gonna have Jose doing the refereeing.
Yep.
Who's gonna be great. Like
we have separate PA systems. I have lined up already. I bought more. I didn't tell you I bought more PA speakers so we can have two different PA systems going. So we can have one in the athlete area. This person's on deck. This person's the whole. So if you have and then separate people up front. So like just more communication.
Sam Beliveau screamed every single fucking
they didn't
name.
have the
every fucking name. She screamed for whatever it was, like 150 athletes.
Yeah.
This person on deck. This person in the hole.
And then they weren't hearing. So I'm like, we're gonna limit the issue with big freaking speakers.
I could not. But like I would have been so. Like, just my head would have exploded. I would never have been able to do that.
Yeah. So we took whatever they did last year because they did a great job last year, and then
made it better.
Picked it apart and said, okay, where were the flaws that they knew that they didn't see coming, and how can we expand those?
And then next year someone will pick those apart.
100%. Yeah, and that's how it's going to get better every year.
We got time for one more.
I'd say we're pretty good.
What else?
Do we have any more?
Is there a fast one that we can?
meal plans. How's wrong with special predictions? Popcorn.
Yeah, we pretty much got.
All right, so let's do a quick Westerns prediction.
Yeah.
Do you know enough about it to make a prediction? Do you guys know enough?
No. I don't know enough. No.
No. Okay.
No.
I'm gonna
say Jefferson 7th.
I'm gonna predict the same podium as last year. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say that Sean wins, Jeff 2nd, me 3rd, and I think that if it's not me, I think that it's Tristan in there. And then if it's not him, then it's Colton in 2nd position. That would be my.
So that'll be top 5.
Yeah.
That would be my prediction.
Yeah. And I know that Leif Paulson is, I think Paulson's his last name. Ooh, I hope I have that right. Anyway, Leif, the guy who's putting it on, is incredibly strong and also competing. So he's a guy who could very easily be up there too. But
Isaac Mays is always right there too.
Isaac Mays is doing the 105 show.
Oh, obviously.
Yes,
Yeah, I didn't
so-
take that into account. Yeah, sorry.
He'll be my pick to win
The 105.
that competition for sure.
Yeah.
He's certainly the guy to beat in that one. He's a fucking monster.
Yes.
Before we wrap, I saw an event poster on Twitter, and someone we know is headlining a wrestling event in
Oh
October.
yeah, okay, yeah. That's actually
Still
That
waiting
looks awesome.
I'm still waiting to
Yeah.
purchase some
yeah.
tickets.
Well, this will be the one because this is so this wrestling company that I was with when they started at the Sherbrooke Hotel is now running an event at the Burton Cummings Theater.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I know that I don't know exactly how they plan on having it set up, but I know that they're trying to sell over 1,000 tickets to this event, which frankly I think that they'll be able to do. I know that people are I think that people are kind of on edge about it, but these guys they've just done crazy stuff. They sold out the Alloway, like the Alloway Hall in the museum, 500 seats in less than a day.
Yeah.
So this will be if you've been trying to get tickets to this show, which I know fucking people have been, because man, I get messages about it. Or if you've been trying to see me wrestle, or if you're just trying to see something that's just like, what's something different that I can go to in Winnipeg that I wouldn't normally go to? This is the show to go to. It's really, really fucking good. It's really, really fun. And the Burt. I would never have.
That's crazy.
I would never have imagined myself wrestling there at all, and and no disrespect to the company that I'm wrestling for, I would never have imagined them elevating to the point where they go from, like I said, a bar in fucking on Sherbrooke Street to the Burton Cummings Theater, one of the oldest theaters in Manitoba.
That's pretty cool.
So it's pretty cool.
That'll be a really cool show.
Yeah.
Some good wrestlers on that list as well.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's gonna be really, really good. A lot of really talented guys. AJ, he's one of the prominently featured guys on those shows, and he's just so good right now, man. He's so fucking dialed in. Like, he's probably 370 pounds, but
he looks massive.
Yeah, he moves like better than guys who are literally half his size.
Yeah.
So yeah, if anybody's looking for tickets to that, maybe send me a message and we can get something worked out for you.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
On that note.
So let's leave it on that.
Sign up, register, support Deadlifts for Dreams.
Yep.
You can sign up as just a donator if you don't want to compete, but I think if you sign up, just compete anyways. There's no standard, there's no expectations. The day is all about Spencer, and you being a part of it in any way.
Still looking for corporate sponsors too.
Yep. Still looking for corporate sponsors. You can go on the website for more information about that, and you can actually sponsor directly through the website. We made it completely seamless. It's very easy to do. But one way or another, get on board and just be part of like what's going to be a really, really fun day.
Great. Give me all your shit.
Yeah. Devin Penner, match with Strongman, Strong Petty, Training Grounds Gym, Red River Siding. That's all of them.
You sure?
Yeah.
Chud Life, Iron Age Strength. I was trying to think of a way to make fun of Devin, but it's not coming to me right now, so we'll just leave it at that. Thanks everybody for watching. Have a great Pride and go fuck yourself.
Yeah, give us a review.
Oh,
too.
review us. Yeah. Hold on before you press the button there.
Take back fuck yourself.
I take it back. Give us a review on whatever you're listening to us on. If you're watching it on YouTube, give it the old thumbs up. Give it a subscribe. Leave us a comment. If you're listening to us on Spotify or iTunes, leave a review, leave a comment. Just give us something because it's helpful.
I'll build the following.
I know you hear this from every single podcast that you listen to, but it really does make a difference. So please do that and then go fuck yourself.